Hello everybody, Accureye here, and welcome to my top 50 favorite Final Fantasy songs. This is a list of my favorite Final Fantasy songs spanning over all Final Fantasies, from the past to the present. Also, because of YouTube's copyright or user guidelines or fair use policy, I do have the list of all the songs in two separate playlists. Alright, so at number 50 is Final Fantasy VII Victory Fanfare. And this was a great song. I mean, it was a simple song, and it did play every time you won a battle on Final Fantasy VII, which is why I liked it. But unfortunately, in this case, because of how great many of these songs were, simple just didn't cut the bill. And unfortunately, this was a really hard video to create, as picking 50 of the my top 50 Final Fantasy songs was really difficult. But I did enjoy all the music, so yeah, that's number 50. Moving on to number 49, Final Fantasy XIII, The Promise. Now, The Promise was a great song, and I believe it was one of the main themes for Final Fantasy XIII. But it was a great song, but sadly, with all the great music that was on Final Fantasy, this one just didn't make it beyond number 49. But I would still I still like it. Anyway, moving on to number 48. At number 48 is Final Fantasy Crisis Core, Eyes the Color of the Sky. Now, this was another great song from Final Fantasy, and when I played Crisis Core, I really enjoyed this game, and I enjoyed the song. But, yeah, as far as Zack's story goes, for Final Fantasy VII, this was a great prequel, going forward. Still, it's a great song. Moving on. And on number 47 is Final Fantasy Crisis Core, Why? Now, this was, I believe, the ending tune, or the ending song for Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core and Zack's story. But it's a great story, and the one main reason I liked it is it's the only song that I remember in Crisis Core that actually had lyrics. So, yeah, moving on to number 46. At number 46 is Final Fantasy X-2 Kimi. Now, Kimi is part of the Yuna vocal collection, which was a separate CD. Which was a separate CD on Final Fantasy X-2. And yeah, if you like Yuna and you want to hear her do some more vocal songs, this is definitely one that I would recommend listening to. So yeah, moving on to number 45. And at number 45, it's Final Fantasy X-2, Hadashi no Kaiseki, which is part of the Riku vocal collection. Now, the Riku vocal collection was also another separate disc on Final Fantasy X-2 for Riku and her singing. And you liked Riku and you want to hear her voice in singing and more, then I would definitely recommend this song to listen to. It's a nice high energy song. Moving on to number 44, it's Final Fantasy X-2 Paine theme. Now, Paine's theme was a little bit jazzy, and that's the one reason I like it, but it didn't reach any higher than number 44. It's still a great song, and I would highly recommend listening to it. Anyway, moving on to number 43. Final Fantasy VIII, Where I Belong. Now, Where I Belong was a great song. It's one of the beginning tunes that you'll listen to, and it's just a really fun song to hear from Final Fantasy VIII. Personally, I love this song. But moving on. And at number 42 is Final Fantasy VII, Turk's theme. Now, Turk's theme was a really great song. I love how it was built and made, and it just makes me think of a bunch of bad guys who are kind of just like closing in on someone, and then they're all just like coming in like a big group, all looking tough and then acting tough moving forward. But yeah, it's a great song. Anyway, moving on. So at number 41, it's Final Fantasy 15 Sydney's theme. Now, Sydney's theme is a little bit Western, at least to me, and it seems a little Western, but it's a fun theme to listen to, and I personally like it. It's a little bit of like soft rock and a little bit kind of Western-like, but it's an interesting theme. So, at number 40, it's Final Fantasy Tactics Trisection Battle Theme 1. Now, this battle theme was great, especially when I first heard it on Final Fantasy Tactics. But, I mean, yeah, it's a great song. Sadly, didn't make it beyond number 40. Alright, moving on to number 39, Final Fantasy XII, Lust for Power. Now, this was a great song. I really enjoyed it, just listening to it, but sadly, with all the great music in Final Fantasy, this didn't make it any higher than number 39. So, at number 38, Final Fantasy VII, the Gold Saucer theme. I like this theme because it does make you feel like you're in a big theme park. It's a real high energetic theme, and I just personally love how it's all cheerful. But with all the great music, it didn't make it beyond number 38. So, yeah, moving on to number 37, Final Fantasy VII Electric de Chocobo. This was the Chocobo riding theme, and it's a really silly song, but personally, in this case, I liked it for it being silly. But sadly, for it going any higher, it wasn't going to go any higher than my number 37 pick. And moving on to number 36, Final Fantasy VIII Julia. Now, this is a piano theme of another pick that I will be reviewing in a little bit. But mostly, this song just follows the melody and harmony of that later on pick. So, yeah. Personally, it's a great song. I would highly listen to it more often. But, yeah, Julia. So, moving on to number 35. And at number 35, it's Final Fantasy Type 0, The Beginning of the End, / What Becomes of Us. This was a great song from Final Fantasy Type 0, and personally, I just can't help but like this song. It's fun, or it's great to listen to, and it seems like they really worked hard to make this song sound as good as it did. But yeah, beyond that, Type 0 was a great game. I personally enjoyed playing it, and I would highly recommend at least playing it once. So yeah, moving on to number 34, Final Fantasy VIII Roses and Wine. This was a great song, and I believe this was when Laguna and what's her name were dating. But it's a fun song to listen to. I personally enjoy it, and it's a great little song to listen to, but sadly not any higher. So at number 33, Final Fantasy III, The Crystal Tower. This is an old song, and for many of you may have not known about this song, you may have never heard of it, because it is a song long before some of you guys who are really young's time. But honestly, I still enjoy it, and it's personally a great song just for what they could have done for the Super Nintendo back when Final Fantasy was on there. Anyway, moving on to Final Fantasy III. Number 32, Final Fantasy III, Good Morning. This was another great song for Final Fantasy III, and every time after you slept, you woke up to this tune, which was kind of happy, kind of like energetic, and made you really feel okay about waking up in the morning. Anyway, moving on. So, at number 31, Final Fantasy XV, Adrian's Theme. Now, this was a great theme song for Final Fantasy XV, and I personally enjoyed it for what it is. But sadly, with all the great music for Final Fantasy and my top picks, this just didn't make it any higher than number 31. So yeah, let's move on. Alright, so at number 30 is Final Fantasy VII Barret's Theme. Now, there's been a lot of great songs, and Final Fantasy VII Barret's Theme was just such a great song to listen to. Especially when you first played Final Fantasy VII and you met Barret for the first time. This is one of the reasons why I enjoyed it, but sadly I only made it to my number 30 pick. And yeah, but it's a great song nonetheless. Anyway, moving on to number 29, Final Fantasy VIII Waltz for the Moon. Now, Waltz for the Moon, I love this song because it was the first time you got to see Riona and Squall meet. And it was the time that Riona asked Squall to dance, when Squall really couldn't dance. And personally, I just love waltz tunes, and that's one of the reasons why it's made it onto number 29. And at number 28, Final Fantasy VIII, Balamb Garden. Now, Balamb Garden, this was a great song, especially when you first got into the Academy of Balamb and were walking around. And that's one of the main reasons I like this song. And yeah, I believe Balamb Garden was an academy, but I'm not completely recalling overall. But yeah, it's a great song nonetheless. Anyway, Moving on to my number 27 pick, Final Fantasy VIII, Liberal Fatale. And this was the opening sequence theme that you got to hear when you first started up Final Fantasy VIII. And I personally just loved this song, but sadly, it didn't make it any higher than number 27. And at number 26, Final Fantasy X-2 Yuna's Ballad. Now, this was another bit of a slow dance song, and I personally liked it. And, mostly because I did like Yuna and overall and, all the stuff. But, yeah, Yuna's Ballad, Final Fantasy X-2. So, at number 25, Final Fantasy X Yuna's Theme. Now, again, this was another great theme from Yuna, and when you first met Yuna in Final Fantasy X, I really enjoyed listening to this. But yeah, that was my number 25 pick. And at number 24, Final Fantasy XIII, Shazaz's theme. Now, Shazaz, I kind of liked him. He had a bit of a jazzy theme. It was a great theme to listen to, and he kind of, at least to me, seemed like he was trying to act like a big hotshot or high roller type of character. So, yeah. At number 23, Final Fantasy XIII-3, Lightning Returns, Crimson Blitz. Now, this was the trailer song, and if you were at the main menu for PlayStation 3, this was the song that you would hear being played while you were waiting to possibly maybe press the start button on the game. But yeah, it was my number 23. And moving on to my number 22 pick, Final Fantasy Tactics intro. Now, I love this theme. And even today, when I still see the video of the intro for Final Fantasy Tactics, I still love hearing this theme. It's such a great tune to listen to. So, yeah. So, yeah, moving on. Moving on to Final Fantasy, number 21, Final Fantasy Tactics Hero Theme. Now, this was the first time you got to meet your hero, or the character you were playing as, and I just personally enjoyed this theme overall. It's a great tune to listen to, and yeah, it's just absolutely amazing to hear. So, yeah, moving on to my number 20 pick, Final Fantasy X, Suteki Dani. Suteki Dani was a great song for Final Fantasy X, and I personally just love this overall song. It's great to listen to, and Final Fantasy X had a lot of good music, much like many other Final Fantasies that were before it or came ahead of it, or should I say after it? May I add? So yeah, moving on to number 19. At number 19, it's Final Fantasy 13-3 Lightning Returns Luminera or Lumina theme. Now, I loved meeting Lumina for the first time. She was a mysterious kind of interesting, creepy kind of character, I guess you could say. But she was an interesting character to meet in Final Fantasy 13-3. And yeah, moving on to number 18, Final Fantasy 13-3 main battle theme or the main theme. And yeah, this was another interesting and great song, and I liked that this was kind of the main battle theme / main theme for Final Fantasy 13-3. And yeah. So moving on to number 17, Final Fantasy VII Tifa's theme. Now, Tifa's theme was a great theme, and for many people who loved Final Fantasy VII or loved Tifa, this is the theme that you probably would remember the most and recognize the most overall. And personally, I just enjoyed this. So, at number 16, Final Fantasy VII Yuffie's theme. Yuffie's theme, I love this theme. It's silly, it's kind of energetic, but it just makes you feel really just joy, like carefree, I guess you could say. Because it really felt like a carefree song when you first met Yuffie, especially with how she acted when you meet her in Final Fantasy VII. So, my number 15 pick, Final Fantasy 9, Melodies of Life. Melodies of Life was a beautiful song, and this was the last PlayStation Final Fantasy, and I guess that's the reason I love this song even more, because it was such a beautiful song before it hit PlayStation 2. So yeah, and at number 14, Final Fantasy VII Cid's theme. Now, for all of you Cid fans who loved Cid in Final Fantasy VII, this is your theme. You probably would listen to this theme a lot. Personally, I love this theme, but unfortunately, didn't make any higher than my number 14 pick. But personally, if you're a Cid fan, this is probably the theme you love listening to, because it is a great theme to listen to. And at number 13, Final Fantasy VII The Nightmare Begins. This is Vincent's theme, and it's creepy, kind of dark tune, but it's a great tune, especially if you loved Vincent in Final Fantasy VII.
I mean, he was a great character, and he's one of the harder characters to find. Anyway, so moving on to number 12, Final Fantasy VII One Winged Angel. For many of you, this is Sephiroth's theme. You will recognize this as Sephiroth's theme. It's a great tune to listen to, and I enjoy it so much. So moving on to number 11, Final Fantasy 13-2 New World. Again, another great theme from Final Fantasy 13 and the Final Fantasy 13 series. Personally, I love this theme, but sadly, it just didn't make it any higher than my number 11 pick. So, yeah. Moving on. And at number 10, Final Fantasy 13-2 Wish. This was another great song from Final Fantasy 13-2 and another great song in the Final Fantasy 13 series. So at number 9, Final Fantasy 13 Lightning theme. Now I loved Lightning, especially when you met her in Final Fantasy 13, and her theme was so good in Final Fantasy 13. But yeah, it didn't make it higher. So at number 8, Final Fantasy 13-2 Seraph's theme, Memory. Now again, another great theme or song in the Final Fantasy 13 series and Final Fantasy 13-2. And personally, I did love the Memory song. So yeah, moving on. At number 7, Final Fantasy VII, Kate Smith's theme. Now I never planned for my number 7 pick to be a Final Fantasy VII theme, but it worked out so good. Kate Smith's theme is jazzy. It's kind of ambitious in a way, but personally, I loved Kate Smith and his character. So yeah, moving on. So at my number 6 pick is Final Fantasy X-2 Real Emotion. Now, this was a great opening sequence to Final Fantasy X-2. I personally enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Anyway, moving on to number 5. Alright, so here we go. We've gone through so many great songs. My number 5 pick is Final Fantasy VII Prelude. Now, the Prelude song is a recurring theme in every Final Fantasy that I know of, or many Final Fantasies that I know of. But the Final Fantasy VII version was just really, really good. I mean, I personally enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it a lot, but yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. At my number 4 pick for Final Fantasy songs, it's Final Fantasy VII, the main theme. Now, the main theme, or the world theme, in Final Fantasy VII was awesome. I personally loved it. And I just enjoy listening to it every once in a while, especially when I want to have like a calm moment or feel like everything is really, really calm. So yeah, that is my number 4 pick. Now we've had a lot of great picks, and my next pick, which is my number 3 pick, I struggled with for a while. And I really was debating which one I should have picked overall, but I finally came to a decision, and my number 3 pick for my top Final Fantasy songs is Final Fantasy VIII, Eyes on Me. Now, Eyes on Me was a great song. I love listening to this song, and it's a great kind of romantic song, and, you know, personally, I just love this song. It's such a good song, and that's the one reason why it's my number 3 pick. So, yeah, let's move on. And yeah, moving on, like I said, I was at an impasse when I was trying to decide which one was my number 3 and which one was my number 2. But my number 2 pick, I finally came to a decision, and my number 2 pick for my top 50 Final Fantasy songs is 1,000 Words, Final Fantasy X, 10-2, 1,000 Words. 1,000 Words was a great song. I love this room. This song is a bit of a romantic song, but I personally loved it. It was a great song to listen to. And honestly, you know, I can't find any song in Final Fantasy X-2 that just personally I didn't love. But unfortunately, because of my top 50 list, this was the number 2 out of all those songs. And out of all the Final Fantasy songs that I could have chosen. So, yeah, I personally love this song, and 1,000 Words was absolutely amazing to listen to. So, yeah, there have been a lot of good songs throughout this video, and personally, if I was to go any lower, I would have I would have given all of these honorable mentions. These are my top 7 honorable mentions for my top 50. If I was going to go any lower on my Final Fantasy favorite songs list, these would have been the ones that I would have picked going for it. So, my top 7 honorable mentions for Final Fantasy are number 7, Final Fantasy VIII, The Man with the Machine Gun. Now, this was Laguna's main theme, and personally, I loved it. If there was any song from Final Fantasy VIII that just took me away for a while, it was this song. And personally, I can't help but feel like this song is just amazing. My number 6 pick, on my number 6 honorable mention is Final Fantasy VII Crazy Motorcycle Chase. This was an amazing sequence, especially in the Final Fantasy VII game. I loved playing this sequence in Final Fantasy VII. But it's one of my top 7 honorable mentions. At number 5, for my honorable mentions, is Final Fantasy XIII Snowstream. Now, this was a great kind of metal rock and roll theme, and for anyone who was a Snow fan in Final Fantasy XIII, this was probably your theme. I mean, I personally loved it. It was a great song to listen to, but it only made my honorable mentions list. At number 5 in my honorable mentions list is Final Fantasy 13-3, Lightning Returns, Equilibrium. This was another great song from Final Fantasy 13-3, and yeah, personally, it only made my honorable mentions list. So my next one on my honorable mentions list is Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, which was the movie of Final Fantasy VII, the aftermath movie of Final Fantasy VII, and it was Tifa's theme. Now, I know I picked Tifa's theme in my main pick, but this one deserves an honorable mention because for the redo of Final Fantasy or for the movie, this was great to listen to for Tifa's theme. Alright, so my number 2 honorable mention is Final Fantasy Crisis Core. A flower blooming in the slums. This was another interesting tune, and it deserves an honorable mention because in Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, I loved this theme, and it goes into one of my other picks, or my main number 1 pick, which I will soon reveal, but I personally loved it because it did kind of slightly follow this, my number 1 pick, but personally, it is deserving of an honorable mention for Final Fantasy Crisis Core. And my number 1 pick for my honorable mentions in my top 50 favorite Final Fantasy songs is Final Fantasy VII Genova's theme. I love this theme. In Final Fantasy VII, I love this theme. Personally, I thought this theme was going to get a little higher overall, but Genova's theme just didn't cut the bill at the end of the day. And unfortunately, we had to only leave it as an honorable mention. But I personally still love this theme, and like many other Final Fantasy songs, they are all beautiful. So yeah, moving on to my number 1 pick of my top pick for my top 50 Final Fantasy favorite songs is Final Fantasy VII Aerith's theme. Now, Aerith's theme is a beautiful theme, and personally, I love this theme because I loved Aerith. She was a great character. I personally loved her as a character, and I personally loved the developing story, at least until the end of Final Fantasy VII. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, many of my picks came from this because it is such a great game. I mean, I love this game so much, and to be honest, it was my childhood. It was the first Final Fantasy that really took me into the realm of being a Final Fantasy fan. And while every song in Final Fantasy is beautiful and it's great, personally, Final Fantasy VII was the one that was my childhood, and that's one of the main reasons Aerith's theme is my number 1 pick for Final Fantasy. But personally, I loved every song from Final Fantasy. Every music from Final Fantasy is beautiful, and it's all great in some way or another. But that's my top 50 picks. I'd love to hear what you guys, any of you Final Fantasy fans are thinking were your top 50 Final Fantasy songs. I will link the two playlists below once this gets uploaded. But yeah, I would love to see what your top 50 Final Fantasy songs are, and how different they are or how similar they are. Because honestly, as a Final Fantasy fan, every one of the Final Fantasy songs have been beautiful. They've all been great songs. They're all excellent listen-tos, especially after you've played the game. And so thank you everybody for listening and watching my top 50 favorite Final Fantasy songs. I'd love to hear what yours are, to see what the differences are or what the similarities are. And thank you everybody for watching this video, and until the next one, this is Accureye signing out.